Because she doing this. She came with me. She's with me.
I carried a watermelon. Carried a watermelon. This is my dance space. That's yours. Let's cha-cha. Don't look down. Look right here.
Sylvia!
Yes, Mickey.
Hello, hello. I'm Katie, and welcome to Retromade, your pop culture rewind. Are you ready for another trip down memory lane? I hope you're as excited as I am to cover Patrick Swayze's most famous role. Today, we're going to travel back to August of 1987 to discuss the surprising mega hit, that is Dirty Dancing and all the other goings-on at the time. I could not be more thrilled to have Lauren Kelly and Sarah Royal from Enough Wicker, a Golden Girls podcast, here with me today. I even have my shirt on. So much for joining me. Tell us about your show.
Absolutely. We're so
Thank
excited to be
you.
here. It's great. Lauren, why don't you take the spiel away?
Sure. So thank you so much for having us. We are both so excited to be here with you and also to talk about this movie, which I haven't seen in so long, and now I'm really ready to talk about it. We are from Enough Wicker, as Katie said. Enough Wicker is the scholarly Golden Girls podcast, and there are many great Golden Girls podcasts out there. A lot of you probably know. But what makes our show a little bit different is that we try to get into the academia of the show and, talk about the social implications of the themes that they cover. Also, we do often quote different episodes out of context because we are Golden Girls fans at heart. And you can check us out. We're actually in the 7th season, so we're closing in on the end there. And it's been great. Sarah, anything else that I missed?
No, I think you nailed it. I think what's really exciting is thematically a lot of the things that we talk about and a lot of what the Golden Girls covers, and obviously the same time period that they exist in this there's going to be a lot of overlap here, I think, which is really cool.
Yes, agreed. And to that point, there's a tie-in. At least I can think of a specific episode in the Golden Girls when Dirty Dancing came out. And there was
Indeed.
this craze. And so Blanche and Rose are dancing in the living room. There's probably some other ones, but that's the definite one that I can think of.
It's
And Jerry
actually not
Orbach.
from this movie. It's from Lawrence of Arabia. Just wanted to correct. That was a nice nugget for all you Golden Girls.
And
But yes,
good
Jerry
point.
Orbach.
Good point about Jerry Orbach. Yes, I kind of forgot he was in the Golden Girls.
Oh,
Yeah. He's definitely I feel like, I don't know. I knew him from the Golden Girls, but I feel like most people know him from Law and Order,
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing or something. And
Yeah.
it was funny to rewatch this because I didn't look anything, I had seen it, but I didn't look anything up about it before because it's been probably 15 plus years since I've watched it. So everybody that came up besides Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, really, I was like, oh my God, they're in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Which we'll get
Knight,
into.
who's just
Yeah,
Wayne
plays-
Knight. Yeah.
who plays the same character, turns out, everywhere.
Kelly Bishop, all of them. So many.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. Well, in order to get into the mindset of 1987, let's open the time capsule from August of 1987. And we'll start with some popular primetime TV according to Nielsen ratings. In addition to the Golden Girls. So let's see, when was the Golden Girls? Was it 85 to 92? What were the years? 80.
You are
okay.
correct.
Literally every episode that I do that falls into that time period, the Golden Girls is listed as one of the top Nielsen rated shows. So
Absolutely.
it's friggin' awesome.
We love that.
Exactly.
And in addition to that, we have The Cosby Show, Family Ties, Cheers, Murder, She Wrote, Night Court, Growing Pains, Moonlighting, and Who's the Boss. So those were the really popular ones.
Man,
Now, I know you guys are a
so
little
good.
bit younger, probably. Do you remember watching any of those shows?
Absolutely. I mean, I was 3 in 1987, so I was not watching all of them actively, but Who's the Boss? Super big favorite. They would play
Same.
one, like it was on in the middle of the morning, I guess in the reruns or something, like later in the 80s and early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my like stay home sick show.
love
Whenever I
that.
was homesick, we had my grandmother, I guess, had given us like an old black and white TV set. And it was the perk of me being homesick that I got to bring it upstairs, adjust the antenna, and like sit and watch TV in my room, which was insane to me. And
Nice.
now like I can watch TV wherever on my phone. But it was so cool. So Who's the Boss was definitely my like favorite show. And also fun story about Tony Danza. One of my best friends from high school was absolutely obsessed with him. Like through this show, like kind of like half like almost surrogate father, half like she had a crush.
Crush. Yeah.
We won't
It's very
explore that.
typical.
That's
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is a whole nother podcast. But yes.
Yeah, seriously. But strangely, in high school, he came to do like a one-man show in Easton, Pennsylvania, just the border of New Jersey. And we lived in sort of Western New Jersey at the time. So my mother's like friend's brother owned the theater, was the manager of the theater or something. I wrote this letter, like a full-on handwritten letter to Tony Danza to ask if he could wish her happy birthday on stage, explaining that she loved him and all this other stuff. I got a phone call from his manager saying, "We have the letter. Thank you so much. Go talk to the stage lady, so that we can like say hello, because like want to be invited backstage." The best thing. Right? I love surprises. I love pulling it off. We sit through the whole show, which, mind you, we're 17. Everyone in there is over 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a tough time going down the stairs because everyone needed to have assistance. Anyway, the whole show, nothing happens. He doesn't say anything. There's so many great opportunities to like, he starts talking about birthdays. He starts talking about like Italian
Oh my
last
God.
name. She has this crazy Italian last name. All of these ways. And we finally go out dismayed. And my friend, of course, doesn't know anything that's going on. And she's like, "Let's go get autographs, go stand outside with everybody." And I was like, all right, I'm trying to find the manager lady I'm supposed to talk to, nothing. And we stand outside with all the other schmoes, and some guy's like, "I've been here for 45 minutes, And finally, this woman comes out, looks right at me, and she goes, "How many people in your party?" And I was like, "Oh," and she's like, "Come with me." The guy who had been there for 45 minutes was like, "What? I've been here for so long. Why do you get picked?" And I go, "Because I wrote a letter." And then we saw him privately. He sang a birthday song to her. He apologized for forgetting to do it on stage, and then like pictures and hugs and everything. It was the coolest thing.
That's amazing. What did he look
was
like?
really cool.
Did he look?
He looked exactly the same. And he was
Yeah.
older, obviously, from
Yeah.
from Who's the Boss. But yeah, he was like super fit. He's small and like kind of petite, but like, very muscular. He was really cool. He was a great guy.
That's amazing. I'm very jealous because I love me some Tony Danza.
There you go.
Mhm.
There you go.
And
Mona
like
taking
cameo.
after, Sophia on the Golden Girls. All the same.
Yes. Oh, Mona was my favorite character, I think. But that was like cameo before cameo, right?
Totally.
Like, you, like yeah.
I didn't have to pay anything though. Just the postage of
Yeah.
the letter.
Okay. Your time in writing the letter.
My time.
In addition to the popular Nielsen rated, we have some premieres that I thought were notable. Married with Children. This is 1987. I don't realize that it was that far back. Then
Yeah.
also Full House, 21 Jump Street,
Mhm.
Beauty and the Beast. Do you guys remember this short-lived show with, I think it was Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton?
Yes,
Do you
I
guys
can
remember
see
this
the
at all?
promotional poster. You don't remember this, Lauren? Oh my
It was
God.
short-lived, and he had like a beast-looking makeup or prosthetic something or whatever to make him look like a beast.
It was
Anyway.
so weird.
It was weird. Yeah, that.
It's really strange. Everybody listening, just go look it up right now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
I'm
even
gonna
weirder than I remember.
Bugging
Then-
me out.
A Different World, Unsolved Mysteries debuted in
Wow.
87, apparently. Degrassi High, which I remember from, I think we watched those episodes in school. Did you guys?
Oh, interesting.
Wow. No, I didn't realize
Some
it
of
came on that early though. That was on for so long.
My Two Dads, which was fun. And then there were a couple of MTV shows, Remote Control and Headbangers Ball,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
actually referenced in my last episode about because we talked about the birth of MTV because we were in 1981. So those two
Yeah.
shows we talked about last time. So Remote Control was a game show. I don't know if you guys ever
I don't
watched
remember
that.
that.
Yeah, remote control is big. A lot of
Yeah.
people like came through on remote control, I feel
Yeah.
like MTV,
Yeah.
like VJs and like celebrities.
Yep, they did. And then Star Trek, The Next Generation, and the Geraldo Talk Show debuted in 87. Yeah. And then some notable finales are The A-Team, Hill Street Blues, Silver Spoons, and Gimme a Break with Nell Carter. So those
Neat.
ended in 87. Did I miss anything that you guys were watching that weren't listed? I know, again, 87, but you know, reruns or something from like back in the day.
Are we doing cartoons yet? Because I was
Not
3.
yet. Not yet.
Because that was really my wheelhouse then. So no, I
Yes.
just with everything that you listed, I just wanted to put in another plug for Family Ties. I love that show. I thought that was a great.
So
show.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
What about you, Lauren?
I also was a big Family Ties fan. I feel like all of these shows I caught in like when they were in syndication, either on Nick at
Totally.
Night or I think it was called Fox Family at the time, was a channel that doesn't exist anymore. But they would show Family
Oh,
Ties
yeah.
specifically, I was sure. I loved Growing Pains, which at this point I don't think I can really mess with because it was
Oh, I
what's
know.
his name, Kirk Cameron.
Oh,
But I did love it at the time, and I loved.
One more.
I-
Growing Pains. The dream of my lifetime was to have an apartment above the garage,
Yeah.
like he had in that final piece.
So
was
grown
so-
up.
It was 1,000 square feet or something insane for like,
like bigger
high
than most
schooler.
people's apartments or
Bigger
homes.
than my
Yeah.
apartment right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Were they in Connecticut or something? Where was that set? I feel like it
Feels
was
right.
somewhere over there.
That does feel
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Who's the Boss, actually. I think that was
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Yeah, you're right. You're
The
totally
blue
right about
van
that.
driving through
Yeah.
the
Full House was so big. I feel like it was because Mary Kate and Ashley I was like prime age for when they were famous when they were little.
Okay.
And my cousins and I were all so really like
You
bought
gotta
the
do-
videos, so into
Oh,
it.
God.
Yeah. And like they had those mystery, like the murder mystery videos. And
So
so I
weird.
feel like this is like they're so young at this point, but I feel
Yeah.
like and John Stamos, like,
what a
So-
babe.
Yeah.
What a babe.
No kidding. He's better looking now, I think.
yeah.
I think it was the
Crazy.
mullet kind of got me back I was like, no thanks.
He trimmed
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he
he's-
does. He just keeps getting better.
So, okay, well, there are some standouts from Saturday mornings. So cartoons, Care Bears, Muppet Babies, Smurfs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Pee-wee's Playhouse were some of the big ones. Were you guys watching those at all?
Oh yeah,
Or
Love the
all
reruns?
of them,
Muppets.
for sure.
Muppets
Exactly.
was my fave too.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. What about was Thundercats earlier? 'Cause
It
that-
was
I used-
earlier.
It was
Yeah,
earlier.
it was
Okay, gotcha.
earlier. Yeah.
What popped into my mind immediately at this time, but I love that.
But you might have seen reruns or whatnot. And then so some of the finales, so these might have been some earlier shows and they ended in 87. Pound Puppies, My Little Pony, Berenstein Bears, and the Transformers, those all ended, as did Fraggle Rock, which
Yeah.
I think was on HBO or something. I never saw Fraggle Rock. It was on like a pay channel that we didn't get. And Zoobly Zoo, those ended.
Never even heard of that last one.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it. And then the ones so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Oh yeah.
and DuckTales premiered in 87.
So good. So good. Some of the best theme songs to ever exist.
Oh, yeah.
But man, I watched I think it was in high school or college. We were like, let's rewatch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We loved it. The pizza always looks so good. Let's eat pizza and
Yeah.
like rewatch this. And I was like, it felt like it was written for a 3-year-old. Like it was.
Really? It's that bad? I don't really remember watching episodes of it.
I mean, I watched it all the time. I was absolutely obsessed, especially when the live action movie came out and everything. At least at the time, I guess my expectations were really high for the writing, and I was like, "Wow, this is really dumb."
That
It's
happens
mostly
when
just
you
catchphrases.
rewatch things.
Yeah,
Totally.
sometimes you have to leave it there, and you
Exactly.
shouldn't go back.
It taught
to
me a
it.
lesson. It taught me a very good.
I feel like I guess it wasn't 87, but I was really into Rainbow Bright and Gem, Gem and
Ooh,
the
yeah.
holograms.
Yep.
Which I feel like were on. I was born in 1989, so I wasn't even alive for any of this. But I have a lot of older cousins who live like down the street from me, so I feel like I got into things that were like meant for kids a little bit older than me.
Same. I'm the
Um,
youngest.
You were the
yeah,
cool
so
one.
all my boy cousins were really into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like I was like, yeah, I like them too, even though I honestly didn't like that. Didn't really care, but I wanted to be cool.
Be cool.
I was like, what are Care Bears on? I
Care
love
Bears
the
were
Care
great.
Bears, so
Speaking of
obsessed.
things that were supposed to be for boys, which, ugh. Anyway, the real
I know, right?
Ghostbusters. I look like it
Oh.
premiered a year before.
Mhm.
Was epic, and that was like all of like my next door neighbor was an only child, and he every toy, everything. That's how I watched Nickelodeon, like all the cable channels, everything. We had the pack things where like the proton pack had like a
You
Nerf
did?
tube. Yeah,
Oh my
Cool.
God.
I did. He got two, so that like him and a friend could play because that's what happened in this house. But
Having
got to reap
friends
the
that are
benefits.
only children, they had the best toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was
Are you an only child,
amazing.
Lauren?
No, but my brother's like 6.5 years younger than me. And I, on my dad's side, I was the only grandchild for a long time. So I feel
Okay.
like I was like,
Kind of got that treatment.
yeah. But then on the other side, I had a lot of cousins and like, nobody super cared that I was even around. So it was a good balance.
So the other show that premiered, although not in the US, was Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh,
Do you remember?
classic.
There
I
was
just remember
like
the
playing
cards.
cards.
Yeah, me too.
Same, because so
That
apparently
was like money
it
in
was-
elementary school.
CBS removed the series from their schedule in the US. So it wasn't even on in the US. Following protests from like all these action children's, Christian leaders for responsible television. So that kind of stuff.
Oh, it
So
doesn't sound familiar
CBS
at all. I'm so
No.
glad we've left that world behind.
Wow. Like lowbrow Cabbage Patch Kids. They were like,
Exactly. But so CBS removed it. That pressure was too much for them.
whoa.
What a
Yeah.
bunch of wieners.
Yeah.
I know. Let's move on to music.
Yeah.
So the top 5 billboards in this week, August 21st, I think was 1987. Who's That Girl by Madonna. There was also the movie, which was so good.
So
Did you
good.
guys watch the movie?
So good. Maybe, well, I think A League of Their Own is like the best film that Madonna's associated
Okay.
with, but I don't know. Actually, I like all of Madonna's movies. I'm not a film critic, obviously. Madonna has a hit movie.
I remember the cougar or the cat very vividly in that movie. But Who's That Girl? And then La Bamba by Los Lobos. And that movie was actually released almost exactly a month before Dirty Dancing. So this was a big time for music and movies, apparently.
Yeah, for
La
sure.
Bamba was great.
Interesting.
Then
It's
number 3,
it's such a staple. It seems so weird. It's
Oh,
like
it
you could
makes
even
or
trace
breaks it.
back its audience.
Have you guys heard of Suzanne Vega?
Yeah, Tom Steiner.
Yes. So I had never heard. So she has the number 3 song this week called Luca, which I'd never heard of. And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh my God, she's the same gal who sings Tom Steiner, that da 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 da
Totally.
from Untamed Heart. That's how I know that song.
And isn't Tom Steiner actually the Seinfeld diner as well?
Mhm.
The establishing shot. It's the same diner.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Good.
Which is supposed to be Monk's
tidbit.
Cafe in Seinfeld. They don't actually film the interior of it, of course, because they filmed it in Los Angeles. But those New York people with the terrible cameras back then filmed
It's
the
still
outside
up
of that
too. You
restaurant.
can, my
Yes,
old
the
office
same
was
one.
like a few blocks. I think it's on like,
It's by Columbia,
yeah, maybe like
Broadway, right?
115th and
Oh.
Broadway. Yeah, it's
something like that.
very, people, I think it's a big tourist spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the Seinfeld fans. Yeah, I can see that. Then number 4 is Don't Mean Nothing by Richard Marx. And number 5 is George Michael's I Want Your Sex. That was such a
Yes.
big song.
He's
George
the
Michael
best.
was great.
Amazing.
Oh, so good.
I'm sure the Christian Leagues didn't like him either.
No,
I don't think
especially-
so.
No, I would imagine no. For all sorts of reasons.
Yeah.
So they're like, we canceled Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
I Want Your Sex is the terms.
It's fine. That's fine. We're
It's
not
great.
boycotting that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we have a lot to cover with Dirty Dancing, and there's 3 of us, I tried to keep the news to a minimum, but there are a couple pieces of news and events from this time. Michael Jackson's Bad video, which was directed by Martin Scorsese, apparently. Did you guys know that?
I didn't.
No. Wow.
I did not. I
Do
didn't
you
know
know
that,
where
but
it was filmed, Lauren?
I would guess.
you know?
I don't know.
So Lauren and I live in Brooklyn, New York, and there is a subway station called Hoyt Sheberhorn. And there
I
is
didn't.
one side of the station frustratingly closed, like forever. And it's very frustrating when you're like waiting for another train. You're like, there's another track right there. What the heck? But I don't actually know the reason that it is closed off. However, because it is closed off, it has been for decades now. It's been used for several film projects. It was in the
Oh.
movie The Warriors, if anybody's seen that. It's also a super famous one. It was The Wiz, when that really scary scene in the subway. But yeah, they filmed it there. And then actually Weird Al, when he did Fat, which was the
Oh.
parody, he did it in the same subway station.
Really? Oh,
Fun
I
fact.
yeah, I love the Weird Al was a whole thing too.
I love Weird Al.
So that there was a TV special that premiered on CBS, and it was called Michael Jackson: The Magic Returns. So Bad debuted in 1987, and then John Huston died at the age of 81 in August of 1987. Before we get into the details of the movie, I had a couple of questions for you guys. I was trying to think of a Picture It Sicily 1954 type joke, but I couldn't tie one quite in. So just basic questions. So season 1 of Retromade is dedicated to what I consider the ultimate everyman, Patrick Swayze and Kurt Russell.
Mhm.
So do you have any thoughts or fandom of either of them? Either way, if not, that's fine too.
I mean, I probably gravitated towards Kurt Russell more, but I can't even give you a really good reason why, just because he was gruffer.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of The Thing. I'm a big fan of Escape from New York, because, I mean, much like we'll get into with Patrick Swayze's character's name in Dirty Dancing, which is so cool,
Mhm.
Escape from New York, Kurt Russell's name is...
So
So that's the vibe I'm going with both of these guys.
Okay. Okay.
But no, I mean, Patrick Swayze, he's always just, he is an everyman, right? He's just sort
Mhm.
of, he's just always been there as a comfort.
I don't know if it's because you group them together, but I also kind of feel like they look alike. And sometimes when I'm thinking about their movies, I like intersperse. Like I used to love Overboard when I was a kid, which also I've seen
Yes.
recently. Not a great premise.
No. No. Oh, there's so many things that are problematic if you rewatch them now.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so you're just holding her captive on a boat, and a lot of it is troublesome. But at the time, I really loved it. And I feel like sometimes when I'm thinking about that movie, I accidentally like lay Patrick Swayze's face over Kurt Russell and like same in some of Swayze's roles. But I really loved him, and I was like, I haven't seen this movie in so long, and I was just like, wow, he's just like so attractive, and like Jennifer Grey's also just so beautiful, but it's like striking and it's like, so cheesy. Like when we'll talk about, I'm sure, when he's wearing like the leather jacket and the sunglasses, and it's like a bit of Danny Zuko. It really works. I'm really happy to have watched a movie with him.
I might have to make a repeating clip of you saying that you think they look alike, because it was literally going to be my next question. I have a side by side as the thumbnail for my trailer for season 1. They
Love
look
it.
so much alike.
Yeah.
I think they very much do. And I ask, it's because you guys are women.
Yeah,
Women see it and men, for whatever reason, don't. All my previous guests, they're like, you're smoking crack, Katie. I don't know.
I was like, brutal. I'm gonna put us back on that. I just feel like I don't even think
So
it's, like,
much.
yeah, I don't know. Sarah,
I'm
do
gonna
you
pull
see
them
it?
up, Kurt. I'm gonna pull them up side by side.
Young, look at like similar age when they're similar. age.
Yeah, definitely like
They're
the
fi-
bone structure on like,
Yes,
especially
yes.
near their chin. I absolutely can see that before even looking at an image.
Like
but
their
I
skin
will-
tone, their hair, their bone
Totally.
structure,
like
their
body
they're
type.
Too,
both
honestly.
beautifully. They're very nice to look at, both of them. Yeah,
Absolutely. And actually, especially in the mullet phases, like for
Mhm.
sure. Like same
Yeah.
exact hair. Wow. Yeah, there you go. The going back to Snake and Kurt Russell's more gruff role, like now Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse just popped into, which is like, I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it is insane.
yeah, it's so
I mean,
good. I mean, it's a terrible movie, but
It's
I love it. You know,
It's good because it's terrible, but it's like,
Yes.
and the ending is just like, what crack am I smoking? Anyway,
the
yes,
80s.
they do look alike.
Yeah, the
They do
80s.
look
Yes.
alike.
Thank you, thank you. You guys heard it here. Sarah and Lauren
It's very
are on
true.
my
It's very
side.
true.
Yes, we are.
Well,
But
thank
honestly,
you,
man, if I have to pick one, I'm a Kurt.
Kurt.
I'm calling it.
Okay.
Okay.
Patrick has the slight edge for me,
Me
but
too.
I like them both. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, if yeah,
I think we should just end here. One.
You're
No,
like,
I'm
you
just-
got
That's
it.
we're wrapped.
Now, you both said it had been a long time since you'd seen Dirty Dancing. Do you remember the first time you've seen it?
I do
You
because
do?
it was at a sleepover where we watched
Oh.
Flashdance, Footloose, and Dirty Dancing,
I like
and
that
proceeded
theme.
to
Try all
like
moves?
basically rank them. I naturally went for Jennifer Beals. I was like, I don't even know the rest of the plot of Flashdance, but I'm gonna go for that. Like that's my vote. But I love Dirty Dancing, and I actually like now I'm so curious to watch both of those other two movies because they're
Mhm.
so. I mean, they're similar. I feel like they're often grouped together, but for
Yep.
me, it's like a very specific memory at a girl I went to high school with, Maureen Slack, her house. And I don't know, it's like got some nostalgia attached to it for like being a teenage girl and like hanging out with your friends, and like it was very wholesome. It wasn't like
Aw.
we were like drinking. Yeah, I think we were like, I don't know, 14. And everybody was like, oh, they're all so cute. I really feel nicely about that time. And I think that probably it was on TV. I feel like a fair amount. So I've seen like
Yeah.
bits and pieces, but I never thought of it as my favorite of those three. So I haven't gone back to it so much. I also loved Ghost. So I feel like if I were gonna watch, that would be the
Totally.
way I would go. Yeah. So I was in high school.
Love that
I
story.
remember the first time I watched it. I can't remember. I definitely remember the last time I watched it. I rewatched Dirty Dancing and Pretty Woman. I was like,
Ooh, good
wow,
combo
Dirty Dancing
too.
holds up like way more. I just
Yeah.
couldn't
Mhm.
get past arrangement and Pretty Woman of just not because like, I mean, hey, sex work is work. I'm just like, she got ripped off.
That deal
Was
wasn't
my
a good deal.
deal. Yeah, exactly. You're like, wait, how much is your rate an hour? This is insane.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He was buying in
yeah.
bulk, though. I think that was.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I
She needs
guess
an
it's
accountant.
fine. Either way, I'm also like a much bigger Patrick Swayze fan than I am a Richard Gere fan. So this one
same.
had the edge for sure.
Wow.
And I was surprised in this rewatching. So much of it holds up. So much are themes that unfortunately we've had to circle back around in our American society, but we'll get to that.
Yep.
But it was a nice like nostalgia hit for a time I didn't exist in. It was a lovely reflection.
Yeah,
Oh,
makes
I
me want to
love
go to
that.
Catskills.
I mean, for real. Oh, we got to get
Have you guys been since you're from over there?
I have.
that way?
Catskills, but not to a proper resort because do they even exist anymore? Probably.
They don't.
No, not
Well,
like this. But the Catskills in general is kind of this vibe. Like I actually feel like
Yes.
I love when movies or TV shows, like you can see that somebody like went to the area and like, scouted it out. And this place where like rich parents would go with their kids and like kind of pawn them off, but I don't know. It just feels so right for the area. And the Catskills they're beautiful, and there's like a restaurant scene, and I feel like it's not just like the woods, which is like what I imagined before I
Mhm.
have been there. It's like a little bit bougie, even.
That tracks, I think,
Yeah.
with what I. Now, interestingly, when I was researching this, those types of resorts that they called in the Borscht Belt, which I had actually never even heard that term before,
Yeah.
they were more or less disappeared by 1987 when they were filming this, because the movie's set in the 60s.
Totally.
So they actually filmed in North Carolina and Virginia, places that they tried to kind of recreate the feel. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No establishing shots. The whole thing was North Carolina.
That's possible. That's possible.
That's
It
interesting.
does. It looks
Yeah.
like generic
Yeah.
woodsy area.
Yeah,
I
like
feel like.
woodsy. Exactly. That's very fair. So,
When
but yeah, the Borscht Belt, like I remember growing up and like, hearing about comedians, like smaller time comedians being referred to as Borscht Belt comedians. That would do like supper clubs.
really.
Well, yeah, the whole, whatchamacallit, talent show and all the stage entertainment that they have, which is so fascinating to think about today, right? That you would be a paying guest and you'd listen to these jokers about their own resort. But like they would have little comedians, they would just do a circuit, to do this supper club, that supper club, just the same as they do the dance at the other
Like the
supper club.
Sheldrake.
I mean,
yeah.
exactly. And it's so fascinating to me that this whole world existed. And like Lauren said, it was kind of bougie. And you have the one woman whose husband works and then she stays there all week and waits for him. That was a huge thing.
A
Where
bungalow bunny. as she's referred to in the
So-
movie.
Yeah.
But even like people with kids, right? Like we're just like, oh, the husband would go work and do whatever in the city, and then the wives. It was too hot in the city for one to
Mm.
stay. So if you had the ability to escape, you would go upstate, and then
Yeah.
you would stay there, all summer because you had
Proposition
money.
a dance instructor. It's totally normal.
Yes, totally. Normal.
That sounds great. I actually
Yeah.
relate more to Vivian now because I'm like, dude, Johnny's hot.
Yeah. Get it, girl.
You guys, I'm older than you. So I think the first time I watched this movie was actually like when we got a VCR. This was,
Correct.
I think, the first movie, like our family
Wow.
watched it on.
To christen the
the t-
VCR player.
Yeah, the TV was that like big piece of furniture, with
Uh-huh.
the, do you
Oh,
guys,
yeah,
did you ever
bulky.
have that?
Yeah.
And
Built
so it was
in.
probably like a year or two after. So it was probably like in 89 or something. But I was pretty little, but everything goes over your head that you don't.
It
Of course.
is so like truly the movements, like in the Golden Girls, like they talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I guess I just like hadn't seen it. And I assumed it was like, like Mambo, but it's like so sexualized the movements. And I know that it's
And in
like,
my notes, like this dancing is quite dirty.
it's it
Grind
is.
time. Yes.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Your whole family, Katie, and you're just like,
Yeah.
What
That's
if
what
I
I'm thinking
dance?
of.
I'm, like 6 or 7, maybe 8, maybe when I watched it, but I totally didn't understand. I'm like, what's wrong with Penny? Like in my head, I
Of
had
course,
no,
no, of course.
no
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
No.
So, well, let's get into Dirty Dancing, shall we? The details. of the movie. Now, if it's not made clear, it's in my all-time top 5 list.
Love it. Amazing.
I love it. And I think for a lot of people, it's kind of in that, like if you're on a desert island and you can only take so many movies, I feel like this is one people would take.
Well,
Definitely.
I would
It's very
certainly take the
comforting.
soundtrack. The soundtrack.
Oh,
So
set
good. Every
was
it
song
won
slaps.
tons of awards. It
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
I think it's like maybe the best soundtrack ever. Or in the top
it's
3.
Really, for sure.
Every single
Absolutely
song.
top. Every single one.
It's
Insane. That's my first note is God, the soundtrack rules.
Oh,
'Cause as soon
yeah.
as the songs start playing, I was like, oh, that's more poignant to me. I have listened to the soundtrack 4,870
Yeah, me too.
times and probably only seen the movie about 4. So it's just
Okay.
it's such a part.
well, I've become over time more of an Otis Redding and Solomon Burke fan, and so I'm like, oh yeah, this is all the
So good.
60s stuff.
Yeah.
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 This is now
so
a
good.
karaoke show, so we're not going to
Yeah.
talk about the movie. We're just going to
Yeah.
sing the soundtrack.
Well, you guys go ahead. Nobody wants me to sing. It's PG-13. I kind of thought it was R, but it's PG-13.
Be
I was
fair,
20
they do
at the
skip over
time.
the sex scene.
Yeah, there's no like real sex
That
in
is
this.
true. That's
I was
true. It's
actually
not
really
explicit. Me too.
I was really excited for it, and then I was like, shit.
Actually, there was, I think, like one of the early screenings, that scene that leads up to it, like their first night, that really hot
Yeah.
cry to me, like one
Oh,
of the
yeah.
hottest scenes ever. God, that scene was good.
Mhm.
But they apparently tested it where Jennifer Grey was nude, but
Oh.
the testing did not go well. So that's why
Interesting.
she's
What
clothed.
does that
and then-
mean?
I know. I'm like, that could either be. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Tough.
I know this is like
I
Christian
bet it's that audience is
body
like,
judgment.
turned on her. Not even because of that, but I
Oh.
feel like it was like, I don't know. Even though obviously like it's heavily implied, if not like said outright, but like I bet that is rooted in some sort of misogyny of like
Oh, I'm sure.
that girl's a
course.
hussy.
Yeah,
Shoot
sure.
yourself in the dick to make your point. No, I will not want to see a gorgeous young woman.
Yeah.
Justice for
much,
Jennifer
America.
Grey.
Well, let's get
It's
into
a-
that too. We have a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, let's get through some of the details because then there's so much. So it's only a 7 on IMDb, which I actually thought was kind of low.
Interesting.
The creators were all pretty novice. So Emil Ardolino was the director, who was also from Sister Act, 3 Men and a Little Lady, and he did some other dance themed movies for which he won an Oscar
Oh,
for Best Feature Documentary. And then the writer was Eleanor Bergstein, who this was kind of loosely, she wrote the story and she grew up going in the 60s, going to the Catskills with her family. and she was even nicknamed Baby until she was in her 20s,
No
I
way.
guess. So yeah,
Very, that's fun. The autobiographical component. The summer when everybody called me baby and it didn't occur to me to mime.
well, so that's Jennifer Grey, Baby. Frances Houseman is Jennifer Grey. Patrick Swayze plays Johnny Castle, which is a great name, to your point,
So cool.
Sarah.
So cool.
Jerry Orbach
Royal.
plays the dad, Dr. Jake Houseman. Cynthia Rhodes is Penny. Jack Weston as Max Kellerman. Jane Brucker as Lisa, the sister, and this was her debut role.
Oh,
Kelly
interesting.
Bishop, Kelly Bishop as Marjorie, the mom. Lonnie Price as Neil Kellerman. Max Cantor as Robbie. Neil Jones as Billy, who I also had a crush on. I thought Billy was adorable as well.
Cute.
Totally.
Wayne Knight, who everyone knows, has since, I don't think he was anybody at the time. Newman from Seinfeld. He had a name. I don't recall it being said in the movie, but it's Stan, the activities director. And then the Bungalow Bunny, Vivian, is played by Miranda Garrison. The music and choreography, Kenny Ortega, who was trained by Gene Kelly, choreographed the dancing. And the score was composed by John Morris and Jimmy Lenner, along with help from Bergstein's personal music collection, which I thought that was also great.
Oh, cool.
He was the
That is
music
cool.
supervisor. So this movie won a crap ton of awards for the music.
Yeah.
So like Oscar wins, AMAs, Golden Globes. The movie won a Golden Screen Award. There was an Independent Spirit Award for first. So Emil Ardolino, the director, this was his first feature film, and he won an award for that. And then there was a TV Land Award, and then tons of other Grammy nominations, Golden Globe nominations. As we talked about the music being awesome, most of the awards and accolades were for the music.
Interesting.
Yeah, that I feel
Yeah.
like I love a musical, like a true musical movie, and this is obviously not exactly that, but I sort of put it in the same category. I think because the soundtrack goes so hard, and also because music plays such a prominent role, obviously, not in the dance scenes, but also like, even in like the more like, emotional, sad scenes. I feel like the music is so prominent and so well used that
Yes.
like it doesn't surprise. Like the movie by itself is great, but I think like the music is basically a supporting actor in it, and I'm sure
Good
that
point.
is what set it apart a lot.
Hey, you
That's
can
a good
count
way
it
of
as a
putting it.
regular musical with the Loverboy scene.
It's true. I don't love that scene. Obviously, it makes me very uncomfortable.
I just think he's so hot when he's laying down and like being like,
Of course,
just
but
talking to her. I know,
it's a
it
cringe
makes you
for me.
uncomfortable.
It made a ton of money. $214.6 million was the
Wow.
gross on a $6 million budget, like a crazy low budget.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Was Patrick Swayze's salary half?
Jennifer
I
Grey
don't
got
know.
$25.
Yeah. Well, there's actually some trivia about those two that we'll get to later. But if anybody needs a refresher about Dirty Dancing, the description is spending the summer at a Catskills resort with her family. Frances Baby Houseman falls in love with the camp's dance instructor, Johnny Castle.
That's it.
That's it. Do you guys have any favorite scenes or moments?
Too many.
No, right?
Do you want to?
Go ahead.
One thing that really sticks out to me because actually, I had a teacher in high school and we were learning about the Vietnam War, and there's a line in Dirty Dancing that she was like criticizing the line because it's actually incorrect. The Ho Chi Minh Trail did not divide. That was the parallel, the demilitarized zone. And I feel like that trivia fact has remained in my head forever.
This
And
movie.
so I was so excited for that line to come up. And I also love Lisa. I love when she's like on stage. I feel like she's like a little bit, not exactly a villain, but there's like some tension between them. But I really enjoyed her whenever she came on the screen. And I also have since watched Gilmore Girls since I've first seen the movie. And I love Kelly Bishop. So at the very end, when Kelly Bishop is, she's like, I think she got that from me. And she's like dancing. And so those are like the top of the side characters. But, obviously nobody puts Baby in a corner. Like, come on, that is pop culture legend.
We're gonna talk about that line because I
Yeah.
later.
We'll go. We can. Right? Were you
Well, I
going to
just
go down the path of that Patrick Swayze actually hated the line?
Oh, well,
He didn't wanna do
We
it?
could talk. Yeah, we could talk about. I'm kind of on his side because to me,
It's a bad line.
it
It's
comes
cheesy as
out of
hell.
nowhere. But it comes out
It
of
does.
nowhere. It just doesn't fit with like, what he thinks the parents are doing to her and to him. And in
Mhm.
rewatching this time, and apologies, this goes too deep because I know we're sort of recapping. He has actually pretty low self-esteem. Like Johnny Castle isn't this cock of the walk that you
Mhm.
one sort of expect him to be, and two, like at least I remembered him as he has a lot of these moments where he feels wholly inadequate, and that was actually surprising me and refreshing to me. So like, I understand when he comes back in, but it's just like this misdirected. It would have been nice if it was a proper callback to someone actually putting her in a corner, metaphorically or really, way earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of cheesy.
But
Agreed.
anytime you're in a corner, you say it. So I feel
Yeah.
Of
like
course.
the cultural relevance continues.
Well, that's
It
that's
does.
being a writer. There's so many
Yeah.
lines that like, especially from like talking about the Golden Girls where people write lines and they're like, this is going to be the one. People are going to remember this. And then nobody remembers that line, but they remember something else that's so silly. And that's the oft quoted one, right? So, but yeah, tell me, Katie, so Patrick Swayze was not a fan?
He hated it. He thought the same. He felt exactly like you, and it was hard for him to deliver the line. But they insisted. Probably somebody thought this is going to be a pop culture. I don't know. Yeah,
And they were right, man.
They were right.
But yeah,
he
it is.
hated
And I think that's interesting that you bring up about like Johnny's self-esteem because I feel like that also is maybe why Dirty Dance is so celebrated
Yes.
because it actually
Yes.
is different from the trope of the hot masculine lead.
Yes.
Because yeah, he feels bad about himself. And also he's like not a dick like at all ever really. Like
Totally.
even when he's like when they're having when he and Baby are like having fights or whatever. He's just like never
He doesn't do anything that can't be forgiven.
Right,
That's true.
exactly.
There-
Which is
yeah.
so
Sick of these
typical of the
movies.
time. And yeah, he's a little down on himself. And there are a couple times actually where I felt like they almost like reversed typical gendered tropes, where she's like building him up, which is nice to see that. And so I
Absolutely.
feel like that's sort of like that line, I'm sure, with the rest of the performance, you could understand how that would take some of that away because it is silly.
Yes, that's my point. It's not my most hated line of all time or something, but it did strike me as okay, like this is the most famous one, and it doesn't have the impact of delivery that it's like summing up and moving towards this amazing ending that we all remember, with the dance. It's just kind of like, all right, well,
It is. It is because he basically does what he needs to say that he learned from her and blah blah blah. And when he gets on stage and says the actual thing that summarizes the movie, so
Correct.
it's kind of an unneeded
Right.
line, but yeah.
it's very funny. But
Do you guys know
Can I talk about my
Oh.
favorite scene though?
Yes.
Well, I mean, like so many favorite scenes, obviously, but like, what struck me again rewatching it this time was the fight scene when he fights with Robbie. And oh God, it's so hot because he just goes, hit me. Robbie hits him as hard as he can. He just takes and then pops him right back, kicks him in the balls. Oh, God, it's just like such a perfect combination of he is being this masculine ideal and he's also beating up the shittiest character in the movie who fully deserves it. And like everything about it is great. And then the fact that everybody's on their little bungalow, like porches.
And
It's
he
just like a
doesn't
summer
even-
camp scene with adults.
But
Yeah.
don't you think the best part was that he has him on the ground? He could totally pummel him, and
yeah,
he says, "You're
absolutely.
not worth it."
Yeah.
Exactly. No,
Oh.
that's I mean, it's so great. Everything
So
about it
good.
plays out perfectly. And that's the whole, like, he can be this quote unquote macho jock, but he makes the right decisions. He's just
Mhm.
beating everybody up. This isn't Roadhouse, okay?
Yeah. Well, and because he's not this like toxic masculine guy, we're very endeared to him. And when Baby asks, how many women, she says in a weird way, like, how many women have you had or something like that.
Yeah.
And he takes offense to it. And then he tells the story about women. He's like, one day I'm eating jujubes and then I have women stuffing, these rich women stuffing diamonds in my pockets. And she's like, oh, I get it. I get it. You were using them. And he said, they were using me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. It's
Great.
But that's
So
like gender role reversal a little bit. And even when Vivian essentially propositions him, I feel like it's not very often that you, at this point in time, are seeing men in that position. And not to get too into it, but he does seem to feel a little uncomfortable. And it's an uncomfortable situation to be in, especially if you're like, to somebody else, you know. And I think they actually, while still keeping it entertaining, not super, you know, gender studies focused film, like they do a good job at like, having that woven in throughout the plot.
yes.
I feel like Patrick Swayze really also, he's just such a good actor. He brings a lot of nuance in his response, which I don't feel like everybody would be able to do.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you're right about that scene because, you know, she doesn't like force him to bed.
Yeah.
Like, but it is this proposition that is like, she's heavily hitting on him because they've slept together before. Like, she assumes things will. Feels like there is a statement there, which is very parallel to the classic conversations when talking about like rape culture, where, oh, well, you know, a woman propositioning a guy, get that, man. There's never anything
Yes.
bad with that, right? Like taking advantage of people or like groping people. And you're just like, no, like this is actually kind of saying a statement. A man can be uncomfortable. It's not just about sex with whomever, right? Or like this, you know, hot old lady. Like it's like he's still.
Meanwhile,
doesn't
she's
want a
probably
piece.
like 40.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Exactly.
Yeah.
She's still damn.
But yes,
It's very
well,
strange.
no,
It's a very strange scene, and I think that they do a really good job, like you said, Lauren, with like, and he does a really good job of playing it.
he does. I wanted to piggyback on that. His nonverbal acting when her husband gives him money, like,
Yeah.
oh, give my wife some more dance lessons. And he turns it away. He like the way that he clenches down on his teeth, and you can see
Yeah.
like his jaw he's so livid in that moment. I just thought it was great.
Yeah.
And then there's
That's
so
very
much
funny.
overt classism. Like the whole movie is just this like class divide.
Yeah. But I think Jerry Orbach is like sitting looking at the lake and he's just like a little teary himself. And he's sympathetic. I love Jerry Orbach so much. Like I will follow him anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's so like rich guy tears. It's like, okay,
I know.
why are you upset? This like makes no sense.
His daughter's
I
not this
just-
perfect little angel.
Yeah. That's why.
That's why, exactly. The world can be molded fully by you, sir. But yeah, the most overt, I think, because it has to establish the vibe, the right of the
Mhm.
classes and the vibe, is the scene in the restaurant in the beginning where, oh, and you're
Yeah.
gonna go to college, and here's the thing, and you grope their daughters, do whatever the fuck you want with them, and then the dance instructor crew comes in, we're like, dude, we're poor and lower class, and they're like, don't fucking touch the girl.
Yeah.
Oh my,
It was
like
so
it's really
overt.
obscene. Yes.
I don't think I caught that in previous viewings, but yesterday when I watched it, I was like, you're telling them explicitly to like have a romantic relationship with the daughters, Neo guys. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then the
Ugh.
other, don't hands off, keep your hands
I mean,
off.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. And you're like, never mind that you're teaching them to dance, so you literally have to touch them. Whereas
Yeah.
a waiter probably shouldn't.
And
So
you
weird.
know, also, like, it's so easy to, I don't know, like, this type of place doesn't exist anymore. But, like, I feel like when I went to visit, like, Yellowstone National Park, there was, like, tour guides, like, for kayaking or, you know, whatnot. And they were all, like, young people. Like, I would say, like,
Yeah.
under 25 as at, like, most of them. It's like the Olympic Village in there. Like, everybody's hooking up with everybody. And like, I can only imagine these hot dancers with like, these, yeah, like, of course, like, rich daughters who are there for something, like they got to do something all summer. So I like if this were a real place, like there's no doubt in my mind that like everybody would be hooking up with the dance instructors because they're the hottest guys. And like some of them are probably trying to snag like a Harvard Yale guy, but if you're only there for the summer, you're probably trying to get the hottest one. And that's Johnny.
That's
It is.
yes.
It is, but I wonder, like the 60s. So Robbie's a total dick the whole movie. His comment about some people count and some people don't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, and
It's
then
pretty relevant. I mean, it's pretty poignant. Like it seems like such a throw, like, you know, like, oh my God, that guy's a dick. But I did write that down and I was like, wow, that's like the premise for so many political positions.
oh yeah.
It is though. I mean
It
that
really
is
is.
groups and out groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's so like you said, Kate, when you're watching this, there's so many overt things. They just said it like, and that line struck me as feeling that if I watched this at the time, you're like, okay, well, that was just like exposition. I think it's implied that's how he thinks. He didn't really have to say it like that. But flash forward to now, that's how our political sphere operates. We're like, no more are we wink nudge nudging. Like everybody's just putting it out there. Some
Yeah,
people count, some
yeah.
people don't. You know, it's so messed. But
And
fits with Robbie.
well, and Lauren, to your point about everybody would be hooking up, like the hot guys, but apparently this theme of classism in the movie is that would be considered slumming it, as Robbie states. And it's just crazy. Like there's certain people that are acceptable and certain people that aren't. It's just mind boggling. I mean, but yeah, it's like overtly said. So, but also in the movie, the entertainment staff, they return the contempt. They hate these people. So there's, yeah.
And like when they're having their like when baby first, when she's carrying the watermelon, which is also such a good scene. Like we haven't talked about that, but it's like
No.
so
Oh, I know. And baby cousin like drops it and catches it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. The opening
it's
of the
such
doors.
a random like but it's so iconic, I feel like, also for like fans of this movie. But when she walks into their party and it's like much more fun than what she was doing, it's so I feel like that is used so much. The thing that I think of is always Titanic when
Yes,
Rose
yes.
Bukater goes to the third class party and it's so much better than her dinner with Kathy Bates. I feel like that's often a piece that's used in film. And here it's done in like a nice, unique way because they're also not like get out of here, but they're not like building their party around her. Like this is because they want to hang out with each other. And like you said, Katie, they don't really want to spend time they don't need to with these people.
Well, not even that, but they're more concerned that she's going to get them in trouble. Like
Right,
that
yeah.
at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, what is she doing here? She can be trusted. All right. That's a
Yeah.
whole theme, which again, super relevant. They're like, okay, I don't mind you being here, but don't fuck up our business.
Yeah, don't be a narc.
I thought it was brilliant, like directing choice or the camera work of when she enters that party and the way that they pan around to the different couples and them just gets through her eyes.
Yes.
What we're
yes.
shown, it's amazing because we're also just like immediately immersed in it. There is a little bit of shock value, but it like in such a
Totally.
great way. Like, damn, this is really like they're grinding
It's
and
really
getting
This
dark, like-
dancing is dirty. Yeah.
it is dirty, but it looks so fun.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what that shot reminded me of? The opening the door and then
Mm-hmm.
suddenly you're in her eyes is the Wizard of Oz. When like Dorothy
Oh.
opens the door and it turns from black and or sepia, whatever, to color.
color.
It's like you're getting pulled into like the world as she's seeing it, which is pretty cool. So
That's true. Did you have
that's
a
my
favorite?
film analysis contribution.
Well, you guys are smarter. You guys have a show that is a smarter show than mine. So thank you for elevating Retromade.
I could bring it back down.
On that, that was one of my favorite scenes. I think is that scene. We're shown all these dance couples, and they're all like have their own kind of style. And I had a favorite dance couple. Did you guys ever, when you were
Ooh.
watching this, like, oh, I like this couple the best?
Who was it? Who was yours?
It was they both have really dark hair and they're both thin. I don't know if they're Italian or something. Like they kind of have that look to them. And she has a skirt. They both have dark clothes on, and it's almost like polka dots that the girl has on with the
Okay.
short, flowy skirt. Anyway, if anybody listening, if this was your favorite dance couple, let me know.
I love
I
it.
think I'm reminded of Cha-Cha in Greece. I feel like a little bit, but like some of the moves, a lot of this actually like similar vibe and whatnot. But there were a couple of times where I was like, this does feel very Greece adjacent to me. And the few of the couples in that scene, I was like, yeah, that reminds me of the dance. And obviously they're in high school, so they get censored. But in this place, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, like 40-year-olds playing high school
Yeah.
students. That's
yeah, exactly.
Still a thing.
Now, I caught note of this because we're American and people tend not to take a very long vacation here, but they are there for 3 weeks. Did you guys think that was odd,
Well,
or is that?
So I actually am. I'm rewatching Mad Men. It like just happened to be, which is interesting. It was funny that they
This
kind of
era?
lined up same time.
Yeah.
So I think that it's actually. I mean, I still feel like people in New York City, at least, like super like executives, will just go to their shore houses for August. And now it's like, oh, I can work from home. But I feel like that's kind of always been a bit of a thing, not in the way that like Europeans do, where like you're actually not expected to work. But there are some allowances that I think it's classist, but like for a certain level of corporate employee that we just kind of
Totally.
allow. So I was thinking that, I don't know, like since he's a doctor, maybe it was like easy enough. And he seems like obviously a very established doctor that they could get away. And I feel like in Mad Men, they talk about how some of the younger executives are staying in the city for the month of August, but nobody else is in town. I think it's 63, the year that they're currently in. So I feel
Which
like
is
it
Dirty
actually,
Dancing is 63.
yeah,
too.
it's the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Mhm.
So like culturally, I think it probably was a thing for people of a certain class.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
And Jerry,
Yeah.
yeah, Jerry Orbach's like, it feels like, I don't know if he works in the hospital, but
Well, he just
probably
got
has
his
own
doctor
practice.
bag
He
with
can
him.
just, yeah. I mean, whatever. He ended up working on his vacation anyway.
Yeah.
So.
He's just got the perfect medicine to like cure a botched abortion with one
Yeah.
shot,
Yeah.
too. Love
Just
that.
definitely has it in a little bag. Totally fine. Jesus Christ.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, the doctor bag. Did he play doctor on Golden Girls?
No,
Or on Golden Girls?
he was the second appearance of Dorothy's, was married and would not break up
Oh,
with his wife,
Yep.
lover.
Was he a
Two men
teacher?
played that guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A gorgeous gym teacher. They talk about it because it's Alex Rocco for the 1st.
Mhm. Yep.
That's right, because she goes, a gorgeous gym teacher, and it just cuts to Blanche going, oh, like shivering.
Oh, Blanche. I love
Oh.
it.
But yeah, I guess they don't like really reiterate his profession when Jerry Orbach comes and plays, him again. He
Mhm.
does that perfect. Like, oh, one half of my block was Italian. We were, one half was Irish. We took turns beating each other up after school,
I love it. I'm
Very New York.
confusing him with someone else who played a doctor who came like with a doctor bag to help Sophia with something.
Yeah, I
So
know
different.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. It's similar
Elliot
bag.
made a ship in the bottle.
I have a legit question. I was confused by also one of my favorite scenes is the first dance that Johnny and Penny do together. They come in and they do the mambo, and it's so hot. Like it's a really
Really
great
good.
dance. And I just want to be like thrown around like a rag doll, like she is with Johnny. Like she's such a tiny little thing too. But why? Like people are super into it, but Max is pissed and he tells them to cool it or to cut it off. And Neil, who's standing with babies, says something like, oh, I don't know why they're showing up together. That's not going to sell lessons. And like baby's like mesmerized by it. And I'm thinking, sure shit is going to sell lessons. So why, like, what's their issue with it? Like they're a business. I don't understand.
I took it as, and bear with me with this analogy here because I'm in marketing. Came from
Okay.
the nonprofit world.
Okay.
Like in nonprofits, like if you have a donation brochure and it looks like shit, you're, like poorly designed, just kind of like really cheaply done, people are going to be like, well, you're not a serious organization, so I can't give you money. But there was always talk of like, if you got a super sleek, really well designed asking for money brochure, people are going to be, you don't need the money because
Oh, yeah.
you're so well off, right? So I
Yep.
feel like Max is probably arguing like there's this balance of like, if they look too, none of the patrons are going to be able to see themselves as one of the partners.
Oh.
Like there's not even a reason to take dance lessons. That's how I interpret it. Like if they're too good, they basically box out their market because they're like, I'll never be like it's not
I hadn't
great.
thought of that.
So they have to be like good but approachable. That's how I think of it. So
That makes sense.
this has been a Marketing 101 podcast.
Brought to you by.
I don't know. What did you think, Lauren?
I didn't really think much about it. I think that sounds right. I also feel like there's so much like tension there and like nobody was, which actually there's,
Yeah.
as we know, there's actually not, but like that people will be similarly put off by pursuing it because they won't see themselves with either one
You mean
of
they're
them.
coupledom? You mean like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you meant tension
like,
between Max
same-
and Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah. But same basic premise. Like they couldn't imagine themselves in there, so they're not going to want to do it.
Right,
But I don't know. I feel like Katie, I agree. I feel like it's like what do you mean? I feel like everybody's into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, as she's standing there drooling.
Yeah.
Yeah, she legit is like a mouth agape. Like, oh
Yes.
my God, what am, yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
And she's super jazzed to find out they're not a couple,
No, I mean, who
That-
wouldn't be? Oh my God.
right?
I can feel that exact scenario. You're like, amazing hot guy. Oh, fucking hot girl. Oh my God, they're not together.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the
You're like,
progression of the roller coaster of emotions. It's so
And
I
he's
thought
so
fun.
they
nice to her.
I
double
can't-
bonus.
Yes. Oh, he's like
Double
her
bonus.
like big brother at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
That's exactly. It's awesome.
Yeah. They did do a good job of, because I could put myself in their shoes, like this young romance that's
Totally.
fleeting. And I thought they did a really good job of making it relatable to when everyone was young and
Absolutely.
insensitive.
and-
and
yeah, that's the
romantic
whole
with it.
premise of the movie, right? What, it's like 25 years after that time period. What a perfect. We see this in movies, all right? Hello, the Barbie movie. There's so much that's just a nostalgia play for the people that are at the perfect age. So I just love hitting the people in the 60s, 80s, being like, remember? So
Yeah.
good.
Nostalgia hit for sure. I looked up how much $250 for the abortion would be now. $2,500. That is kind of a lot. Like they wouldn't have that kind of money.
No.
Totally.
And I will say, I do love that Jerry Orbach is just like, all right, somebody's in trouble. Like, I trust you. Like, you know, whatever. Obviously, that unravels a bit, but I think it's a testament to his character, and I think it makes it a little bit easier for the audience to feel a little bit more conflicted when they're having their stuff, and not just like, oh, he's being a jerk. You know, he's also going through it. Like he's dealing with it himself, and he got tapped to save
Can
this
we-
girl's life. So
Yeah.
For real. Can we talk about that? The
Mhm.
premise that at least a third of the movie, if not more, hangs on is that Jerry Orbach thinks that the guy who the pregnant girl is Johnny Castle. But watching it again, it's just like, you know, like you're screaming at a horror movie. You're just like, don't go behind the door. You're like, right now would be a perfect time to just say it. Just say it right
Tell
now.
him.
Say that it
Yeah,
wasn't.
there were like
Tell him right now.
there were probably 3 points where Johnny could have, but I think it's
Absolutely.
showing. Yeah, I was so like, Johnny, just say it wasn't yours.
Just say it right now.
But I think it's supposed to show us how good of a guy he is. That he's
Yes.
kind of taking it because he's unselfish in that way.
I totally like why, but it is really funny because you're just like, you know, like, come on, man. There's so many great opportunities of like, and also to throw it back in Jerry Orbach's face, like you're making a judgment about me because I'm lower class, and you think that
Mhm.
I did this because I'm trying to help this girl, when in fact I am actually trying to help her because some other dickhead who is higher class did it. You know? It's like there. I summarized the second half of the movie.
yeah,
You did, and
But it
thankfully
is-
there was a payoff at the end when
Yes,
thankfully
yes.
that was paid off when Robbie.
Okay, but can I ask
Yeah.
you about?
yes,
about- Do you think that was a little ham-fisted? I don't know why Robbie even says anything. Why
it
does Robbie
was
say-
because he wouldn't have. He wouldn't
What?
have because he's dating the other sister, so he wouldn't. Like, if I'm Robbie, I wouldn't announce that I knocked up somebody else if I'm dating that guy's daughter.
and in the
Well,
way
I-
where he's just like, I assume she told you. Just like,
Mhm.
I think
Exactly.
he was thinking of it as like, this is what guys in our position do. Like
Oh,
Robbie has a
yes.
picture of rich men just messing around doing whatever they want. And I think he was trying to relate to Jerry Orbach as like, you know what I mean, guy? You know, like whatever. I don't know,
Yeah,
that's what I
girls,
see.
girls like that. Girls
Yeah.
like that. Though they're
You
likely to
know,
pin
we've
it
all
on
been there.
anybody. Yeah.
we've all been
Good
there.
point.
Totally ditched a woman who was left to die.
Yeah.
But money can solve it. Yeah. Okay. That checks out. But yeah, to me, it was just like, why are you even saying this? And why are you saying it in a way that you have any relationship with Baby, where she would be like, there, I told my dad. That makes sense.
Ugh, Robbie
It
sucks.
totally sucks.
Robbie does suck. I forgot to write the book that he hands her when Baby tries
Oh,
to get
yeah.
the money for the abortion from her. It is
Yeah.
a book. I forget the name of it, but it's
It is
basically
the Fountainhead.
Yeah.
Ayn
Oh,
Rand. It's literally Ayn Rand. And I was like, how fucking perfect. What?
I wrote that down, of course.
Yeah, so for listeners, it's a book about basically being a selfish dick. I mean, you know, like, and that's, you should just be
Liz.
worried about you and yourself. And that's
Uh-huh.
right. I mean, I don't know
Right
how
when
to-
he says some people count, some people don't. It is, I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally the playbook for this very certain degree of libertarianism and like, just the American rugged individualism. Fuck anybody, yours.
Yeah, it
Cool,
is.
cool, cool.
And so that's why that was also awesome. Baby pours her pitcher of water down his pants. I don't know how she says it exactly, but like, F off. You don't touch my sister. I like
Yeah.
it. I like that.
Yeah.
The trivia, let's see, what was the stat? 39% of people who viewed this film did not realize that abortion was the topic of the subplot. It's like in 87, almost 40% of people didn't catch that
Yeah.
somehow.
What did
Those
they
are
I don't know, man. Because it technically they don't actually say it, but it is
Right, I guess they
so
don't.
heavily implied. I don't know. I mean, I as like an 8-year-old didn't get it, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess it depends
know-
like the age group of who's polls, because like
True.
sure.
correct.
But what else would happen to her where she's like set she can't dance? Like I feel like there's only one condition,
Oh,
a delicate
Yeah.
condition.
Jesus Christ.
yeah. And so
Up and single, how
And-
dainty.
it is.
Also, she
it's
can
very-
only get the abortion on the one day that they're supposed to dance.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Also, let's make fun of that a little because baby is like, well, I can just go help you. And he's like, yeah, we need $250. And she comes back and she's like, here's the $250. They're like, well, it doesn't matter because we have the Shell Great gig. And you're like, well, why didn't you say that in the first place?
I know. Well, and Billy acts as like the exposition, like both
No,
of
I
those
know.
times. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nobody's being helpful.
It is
There
funny,
was-
right? To look at it with a close with we're calling out all these lines that aren't as laughable, but somehow they work.
Oh yeah, it's great. These critiques are like because we're talking about it in this step. But when I was
Correct.
watching it, I was like, man, this movie is so good.
it is. It's paced. I thought it was like perfectly
Yeah.
paced.
Really nice length too. I'm so tired of movies
I
over
know.
2 hours. I feel
3
like
hours. movies.
all Oscar movies are like 3
Mm.
hours now. Love a short movie.
for sure.
It was better even than I remember when I watched it. Like the things, these people that didn't really know what they were doing put together a pretty awesome final product. And the studio, that in and of itself was something that Bergstein, she submitted her script to every studio and she kept getting rejected. And finally, this was the studio. Tron is the name of the studio. And this was their first feature film. Everything else had
Amazing.
been like direct to VHS. So they had
Interesting.
like no budget. So
Yeah, so
I-
how did
I
they
thought it was
score
pretty
Patrick
impressive.
Swayze?
I don't know, 1987. Well, partially because they wanted real dancers.
Mhm.
And so Lauren, when you said something about Footloose, your slumber party with Footloose and Flashdance, the director wanted he didn't want body doubles for the actors
Interesting.
when they're because he actually noted both of those movies. And so he said, no, I want the actors to be real dancers.
interesting. Yeah.
So Patrick Swayze by trade is like, he's a legit professional dancer. And clearly Jennifer Grey wasn't, but Penny
He was
was.
teaching her.
Yeah.
It fit the part.
Yeah.
It fit the part.
And
Yeah, that's
Penny-
interesting too, because I wonder if that's the first movie where they did that, because I feel like that's been a thing like since. I'm thinking Chicago, which I think was
Mhm.
2001 or 2002. Rob Marshall, who was the director of that, he wanted all of the people in there to do their own singing and dancing. I think one, to make the movie just, pop a bit, but also like, then they're eligible, more likely to win Oscars, which they did.
That's a
So
good
I
point.
think when you have something like that, it does, even if people don't know or don't care, it goes a long way when you're critiquing or, with the longevity of the respect of the movie. So that's really cool. I love that.
That's awesome. I do think we're center stage with ballet dancers, so they were
Hmm.
good actors. One kind of ball.
Yeah, I know Jennifer Beals did literally no dancing, but we still love her.
We do. I'll have to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen that in forever.
Me neither. I'm curious.
Did you guys see either of that horrible Havana Nights movie? I think
I
I saw
did
it
see
once.
it. Not great. I actually looked up the Rotten Tomatoes for Dirty Dancing is I think it's in like the 70s, but for Havana Nights, I think it's like 1. It's very low.
Oh my
And
god!
I
Like
initially
single digits.
I initially saw the tomato score for that. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like that's not right. But then I realized it was Havana Nights. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, I didn't know that it was supposed to be a prequel. in the research, it shows it as a prequel because it's set in the 50s
weird.
in Havana. But it doesn't really make sense because classism is a theme in that movie too. But if it was supposed to be a prequel, why would you have Patrick Swayze have a cameo as the dance instructor in it? It just makes zero sense. I don't.
They try to
Silly.
do that though. I feel like they're like, you see, it's like an Easter egg for the
Yeah.
real
You
ones.
get it?
Yeah.
Get it?
I don't remember if the names were the same, even at any rate. Then there was also that 2017 musical, almost like a miniseries that ABC put on with Nicole Scherzinger, Deborah Messing, Abigail Breslin. They tried to kind of remake Dirty Dancing. I didn't see it, but there were a lot
No.
of famous people in it, but everyone hated it. Like they were like, this is like blasphemy almost, like don't.
yeah.
And I agree.
Don't
Like
mess
there are
with it.
certain movies, don't touch Dirty Dancing.
Mhm.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah. We don't need it. You don't need to do anything with it.
We don't, but there are still talks with a tentative release in 2024 of a sequel.
With Jennifer Grey, I think is supposed to be in it because I was just
Yeah.
in her wiki and I saw that and I was like, huh, okay. That, I guess, sure. Like if there's an original cast person, it feels a little better to me, but I personally don't need it. But maybe some people will be into it. We'll see. I'll give it a chance, I guess. Top
Yeah,
Gun,
that's
people
the
went nuts for
thing.
Top Gun.
That's true. And people just, even if the movie's not great, they'll make money because people are curious to see what they
Totally.
do about it.
True.
Totally. That's what I think about all these, where it's
Mhm.
very rare that like, one of those sequel movies is actually rated fairly highly. I mean, Top Gun got good marks.
Yeah.
But like you have to really do it.
Yeah,
or you
you
have to
do.
do it as like an homage continuation, like a Jurassic World to a Jurassic Park
Mhm.
type of thing. Like,
Right. That's true.
you just really have to be careful. This intellectual
Agreed.
property is very treasured to many people.
Yeah.
So, for sure.
Lenore apparently has stated in some articles that she knows what happened. So the movie ends and it ends. And we don't really know if Baby and Johnny ever see each other again. We don't really know. But she apparently knows what happens after the credits rolled, but she's not telling. So that's probably what the sequel is going to be. From Jennifer Grey, from Baby's point of view, she's probably telling her daughter they go on a vacation and
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's like-
feels very accurate.
Yeah, right.
She's like sort of Titanic-esque.
Yeah.
that
They
way.
just like go
Yeah.
back to the
Exactly, yeah.
Catskills in there.
Can we talk about the relationship between Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey?
Yes.
So the tabloid headlines from this movie is that they hated each other. But I will say, listen, I've done surface level research. So if somebody out there, Kate, if you have like way more actual like nitty gritty information, please correct me. It appears that like they both were together in Red Dawn. They have
Mhm.
worked together previously, and Patrick Swayze was kind of method acting, being just very gruff and militaristic on set, which made Jennifer
Yes.
Grey uncomfortable. So they already got off on the wrong foot there.
Mm.
And in the movie, there were like frustrating parts, right? Like there's a famous part where he does the whole thing down her arm
Like
and she
this.
giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, she giggles
Yeah.
because it tickles her. Right? And he's
Mhm.
so frustrated. You watch his face. He's just like, come on, we're trying to train for this thing, Well, apparently that was happening in real life. It was like however many takes. She just giggled every time and he was so fucking pissed. But they left it
Yeah.
in the movie. And then they finally like nailed the last shot. Well, it's so funny, one, because as you mentioned earlier, in this episode, the Golden Girls spoof, and they spoofed that with Blanche running her arm down Betty White's.
That's
And she
right,
laughs.
That's
It's
right.
perfect.
I love it.
But also related to the Golden Girls and also related to Betty White, this whole like drama headline coming out of them hating each other, quote unquote, just really reminds me of another drama headline just meant to stir the pot. Betty White and B. Arthur hated each other on the Golden Girls. And I think in both cases, to me, a full outsider who has never met any of these people nor worked on either of their sets, I really feel like it's this overblown thing because we love
Mhm.
cops like this.
Oh, for sure.
And it wasn't hate so much as like they just weren't getting along nearly as well as their on-screen counterparts. For instance, it was almost kind of the same thing. B. Arthur was annoyed at Betty White on set because Betty White would always make jokes about everything and play games and like do all these pranks and things. And like, it was like, enough already, It was the
This
same
is-
idea.
I'm a
right?
serious actress.
Yeah. So to me, I'm sort of trying to reclaim both these stories. Yeah, it sounds really fun and enticing to say they hated each other, but I really don't think it was like this bitter hate. It was just like, we don't get along, and that's fine. We're both professional actors, all four of us, and we're going to do the job. And actually,
Yes.
we're really such good actors that that like are on screen. In one case, falls in love, and in another case, are best friends. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like
The chemistry
so.
work.
That's my take. on all
No,
of
you're
this.
absolutely right. I fully agree that the fodder was probably overblown, but they didn't have the best experience. I had read that he really had to talk her into it. Patrick wanted Jennifer Grey in the movie, so he had to kind of convince her to come
There you
on. And then she had later said, so maybe they didn't love each other, but
Yeah.
as professionals, they can recognize, because she had later said she wouldn't have trusted anyone else other than Patrick to have those
There you go.
scenes with.
There
That's
you go.
interesting. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like it's like anybody who has to have coworkers. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be best friends with your coworkers, but if there's somebody you know who's a really great designer, you probably want them on your project, even if you're
Yeah.
not a big fan of theirs personally.
They-
So I'm sure it's
Yes,
very
that's
similar.
right. That's very fair. Exactly. Yeah. To get the best art, you can get
Yeah.
the best players. That's perfect. So, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad we cleared that.
Yeah. No, that's legit. The other thing is about the stunts and them doing the actual dancing. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Patrick Swayze, but I read his book recently that he wrote with his wife, and
Mm.
there's literally nothing this man can't do. And he has an injury from like high school football for his knee. And so in a lot of his movies, he'll do his own stunts, but then he pays for it, and he has to have his knee drained and have procedures done while like every night
Wow.
to
What?
alleviate the fluid buildup on his knee. And so in Dirty Dancing, doing his own stunts, like that log scene, he kept falling.
Oof.
And obviously the final scene where he jumps off the stage and does the dance in the aisle. So those were scenes
Yeah.
that he's like, I don't want to do very many takes of this because my knee can't handle it. But he had to have fluid
Wow.
drained from his knee on a regular basis filming.
Wow. Well, I was
Jeez.
also, I mean, just like a lift. I love figure skating as a
Oh,
sport to
same.
watch. And I feel like they've talked a lot about how the lift, obviously it looks so easy, but if you think about holding anything above your head, it's so difficult. And I was thinking about him doing his own stunts. Like that just takes such tremendous strength all over your body, like obviously upper body. But that I'm sure in and of itself, like such a big risk for his injury. But
Yeah.
just like truly display of pure strength and athleticism that I feel like you watch it and you're like, yeah, that's cool. But like, okay, but the physical exertion required to do that is like really something.
And he holds her up, right? I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of times people like mock or they do like a spoof on this. I've seen, can't tell you how many times in bars on Halloween.
Yeah. Every time you're in a
people
pool
dress-
when you're a kid. of course.
Exactly. Exactly, right? But like people will do it and they'll like catch a person and pick them up and then put them.
Yeah,
You've
like,
never
just
seen
really
it
quick,
in
the
IRL.
momentum.
Yeah, of like he holds her there for so long and she's stiff as a board, right? So
And
it's
her
gotta be
too. I
even
mean,
harder.
that's like ab
Oh,
strength
yeah.
on her
No,
part,
exactly.
for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. She's literally like just playing. above.
Yeah, both of them so athletic.
It's pretty
And-
awesome. It's great.
You guys, I like noted at the very end when everybody's happy, after the final scene, they do their dance and she does the lift because she doesn't do it at the Sheldrake. And then later they're just kind of everyone's dancing in the aisle and it's just the two of them together. And from a standstill, not even like a jumping, from a standstill, he just slowly lifts her up over his head.
Oh man.
And even if she's maybe 120 pounds max,
Yeah,
that's a lot to just
Yeah.
like, that's so
I know.
crazy strong.
He is magical.
He is. Now, I would recommend you guys watch Skate Town USA. I did an episode of it a few back where it's actually his very first role ever. It's 1979, I think. It's a terrible roller disco movie, but it's hilarious because there's tons of famous people in it. Anyway, it's basically Dirty Dancing on skates. So he does
Love
all
that.
this really. I think
I'm
you guys
in.
would like it because he looks really good in it too. But
Love it.
it's basically Dirty Dancing on skates. So all of the impressive dancing and lifting, but on skate. To your point about figure skating. It's
Yeah,
very
no, I
impressive.
love that.
Also, can we
Yes.
talk about the mom?
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's talk about the mom.
Let's talk
Kelly
about the
Bishop?
mom, Laura.
Kelly
Yeah.
Bishop.
I love Kelly Bishop.
Go for it.
I mean,
Where-
that's it.
she-
She's great. I think
She's,
she,
but like she just doesn't do anything until the final pivotal moment.
No.
yeah, I know. And I actually think like, it's interesting because I don't know, Katie, if you have seen Gilmore Girls, but she plays the mom in Gilmore Girls. And she's this like very snobby, like daughters of the American Revolution.
I can see that. Like,
Super
I actually
rich.
haven't seen it, but
Yeah, like
isn't
so
Mila
I-
Ventimiglia in it?
She plays
too?
like the
yeah,
grandma?
yeah, he's like the friend. She's Rory's grandma. She's Lauren Graham's mother.
Right. Okay.
And so the whole premise of the show is basically like Emily Kelly Bishop and her husband have this tremendous wealth that Lauren Graham needs access to for her daughter. So she has to like reconcile. And there's like, it's 3 Gilmore Girls, really. It's the mom, Lauren Graham, and
Yeah,
Emily.
okay.
But anyway,
Oh, okay.
she's such a strong character. And Kelly Bishop is so good in that role. It's so funny. And actually, Emily is like one of my favorite characters. I think she just is like obviously like hilariously like mean, like bad. So it was interesting because I feel like her character is so muted for much of this movie until like the very end. And even that is like, it's so small, but I love the actress so much that I felt like I was really had my eyes on her when she was on the screen. And I like them as a couple a lot. I feel like they really look nice together. And at the end when they're dancing together, it's very cute. Like, I think it's good casting.
You know what's funny about that casting is that she wasn't originally supposed to play the mom.
Wow.
It was yeah. So she was originally cast as the Vivian role. Like
I could see
the
that. I
Bungalow
could see that
Bunny.
too.
And the person who was cast as Marjorie fell ill like the first week of filming. And so they recast her with Kelly Bishop. And then that's when the other gal, whose name is escaping me,
Came in, played Vivian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plays Vivian. And that Kelly Bishop is actually only like 12 and 14 years older than Jennifer Grey and the actress playing Lisa, like in real life.
Yeah, she doesn't look that makes sense. I feel like they try to like age her with like the costume
Yeah.
quite a bit. But that totally checks out.
I haven't seen
hilarious.
her in anything else other than this, so I might have to check out Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. I think it's like the dialogue is delivered in like we're just talking about this
Aaron
recently. It's delivered
Sorkin-y.
in like a very it's like
Literally
super,
talked
like,
about it last-
snippy. Yeah.
Oh.
Aaron Sorkin-y with like some like trying to be I don't know, like the pop cultural references are like really the show creator wants you to know that she like knows about music. So it's like throughout.
Okay.
So it can be
Okay.
a bit off-putting to some people. But I watched it actually during peak pandemic. My partner is really into it and I had seen it and I'd been like, I do not like this show. But at the time I had nothing to do besides watch TV and I did really get into it. And now I feel the like nostalgic pull and I probably have seen it all the way through 3 times.
Oh.
But Kelly Bishop, Emily is definitely stands out as one of my personal favorites, even though
Okay.
she's bad.
So that's the thing. She's such a great actress, and like I felt her absence in much of the movie because it's such a dad and daughter driven
Yeah.
vehicle. Or I
Yeah.
guess to be more clear, it's like this family of 4 alliance where, like what you were saying before, you know, her sister's not really the villain, but she is, for lack of a better term, basic, right? And she wants what is a traditional path forward for her life at that time, right? And she's not going to rock the boat, and she is presented as not as smart. And it's almost like this inside joke between Baby and her. Like, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you're different and it's cool. So in the scene when they're playing golf and she asks them for the money and that whole thing we were talking about before, it's like, you know, the mom's like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, it's cool. I took care of it. You know, and it's just like, wait, what? You know, so I was offended for the mom, especially when she comes through at the end, because she presents as like, I've known this whole time, like what's what and what's going
Good
on. and what is best
point.
for my
Mhm.
daughter. And 3/4 of the movie more, she's sort of played as like the counterpart to the other sister who's more aloof. So that's a vibe that I got from it. I was really happy she got that moment at the end to be
I
like,
agree.
dear.
Sit down, dear. or
Yeah.
however she
Yeah,
says.
So
exactly.
good.
It's so great.
Because
I mean,
earlier,
in
her
my
best
mind
line
though,
was-
it's funny. Like she's just like, he's really hot. Let her go.
Yeah.
I mean, live vicariously. Well, because she does with Lisa.
Yeah.
So
Because
hold, oh my
Lisa's
god.
only
you know?
interested in getting married, and so that
She
you're right.
is,
She
yes.
is the counterpoint, or yes. So she's, oh well, it's what's with all this rain? I can't have my wedding with Robbie, who I just met
Yeah.
in Niagara Falls.
Right.
So you go to Acapulco.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So like crazy. Such a
Yeah,
bit of relief.
yeah. She does
And
play
it's
that part.
it's like it's played in that way. Like I'm offended on the part of the mother. a heterosexual relationship that they have where they keep things from each other. Like, don't worry about it, dear. I took it. It's like, wait, what? Don't you want to know what's going on with your other daughter? What the
No, I won't tell your mother.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
say that.
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
bother
You know,
her.
like, ugh, it's just, it makes me roll my eyes because I'm just like, guys, there's a lot of communication issues here. Okay? Vacation might be a nice time to solve them.
1963. What do you want from these people?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
I guess. The rich doctors.
Yeah,
My
but
baby
it's
girl.
yeah,
They do call her baby.
that's true, which is strange.
Quite diminutive. Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
not my favorite.
speaking of the ages, I feel like this gets made fun of a lot. We're all like, yeah, don't put baby in a corner. But have you seen these memes? Like, yeah, I don't want my daughter to go be with some dude who looks like he's 40.
Yeah,
But in reality,
fair.
he
I haven't
is
seen that, but that's
35.
pretty great.
He's 35. Okay.
I'm getting it wrong. But it's something to that effect. So Patrick Swayze in this is actually 35. Playing his character is supposed to be 25-ish. So he's,
Okay.
Okay.
and she
Fair game.
is supposed to be like 18-ish probably or somewhere around there. And Jennifer Grey was 27. So we have a 27 and a 35-year-old playing 18 and 25-year-olds. So I thought that was
Still not
interesting.
as terrible as Grease. Grease, they just look real old.
Yeah.
Legit 40.
Yeah.
I
Sonny's like
thought-
45 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like though, for especially even like in the 80s and stuff, like I was just talking about Interview with a Vampire with Kirsten Dunst and
Mhm.
I think Brad Pitt. I forget which one she has like the romantic thing with, but it's inappropriate no matter what
yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
And
Sure
like
it
to
is.
have at least Jennifer Grey's older playing younger, whereas I feel like there was also a weird trend where it was like, well, I think Juliette Lewis has a romantic relationship with somebody when she's 16 playing somebody who's 16 and the actor's like 26 or something like that. So
Like in
I'll have
Cape
to say
Fear, was it Cape Fear?
Yeah,
I wanna
Cape
say-
Fear, yeah, you're
something
totally
like that,
right.
Yeah.
that's, cast an adult. Like Wolves has been reality for a bit. It's like,
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Exactly.
yeah.
For sure.
But they look like, I would buy that he was 25. I feel like that
Same.
feels 25 presents differently now than it did then. And similarly with her, I feel like I don't think she looks 18 because she looks like an adult to me, but I feel like the way that teen-year-olds are portrayed at the time, like I think that's totally believable.
I agree. And even there's a progression of her innocent look in
Yeah.
the movie. And then progressively she starts to look more grown up and
She's just
wears makeup and her
dancing in
hair
her
looks
underwear.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
like, girl, put
Scene
some
where
shorts
she's
on.
just in her underwear. I was like, this is getting wild.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing.
But her abs are so like, her body is just so, it's like muscular too, which is
Yeah.
actually nice because I feel like this is right before probably heroin
Kate
chic
Moss.
and like super
Totally.
thin was like a
It
thing.
was, right? Yep.
And her body is like a dancer's body. It's like fit. It doesn't feel like she's just like, a stick. And
A waif.
all bodies are beautiful, but like it's nice to see very toned person. I wouldn't call her a normal sized person because she's certainly not, but
No.
like different picture of women that I feel like are
That's-
about to come.
That's such a good call out because I had thought it was interesting that Patrick Swayze is so skinny. He's got the
Mhm.
dancer's body for a man, right? He's obviously muscular, but in the way that like a beefcake dude would be portrayed if he was like a Chris Hemsworth or whatever, there's
Mhm.
no way. Like his waistline is like half a mile. Like it's
Yeah.
Oh, I highly doubt that. But
but still, whatever. Maybe the
Yeah.
the screen cameras were. I was struck by how skinny he was, only because of what I thought of as like a traditional like leading man macho
Mhm.
portrait.
Yeah.
where he was like skinnier. So
I like his look. It's like a natural. I wouldn't say it's skinny. He's like a normal framed man that's just
Yeah.
very toned. Like there's no fat. He doesn't have
Yeah,
any
he's like
fat.
lean and
Lean, yeah.
strong.
It's the
Yeah.
lean piece. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think Hollywood would want him to bulk up and feel like when he
Oh,
has a
for
shirt
sure.
to
Sure.
be like much more of that macho kind.
yeah.
And there was
Agreed.
just so much that's just like these are these people.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I'm glad you pointed out Baby's body as well, because I think, I was like, dang, she's really petite. She's short too.
Mhm.
But then next to Penny, I well, first of all, I thought Penny. I loved all of her outfits. I just am a big fan
Oh,
of
yeah.
Penny.
Yeah.
But I several
wonderful.
times, even as a kid, I remember being jealous of how skinny she was. Like how that's how it makes us.
Yeah.
But the scenes where they have Baby and Penny dancing together, I'm like, holy, Baby is very thin, and then Penny is
Yeah.
so much thinner that it's
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah,
a
because
stark.
she is like the costuming on her. I agree. Her clothes are so cool. Every scene she's in, I'm like, wow, that's
Mhm.
such a cool outfit. But it's an interesting, you think about the level of athleticism and fitness, as we were just talking about, like being a dancer. Like, if you're too thin, I mean, ballet, I guess, is like a certain style of dance that requires a certain style of body. But like this type of dancing, you have to be muscular for. And I just think it's nice to kind of see that
Mhm.
portrayed in a way. It's nice to see both. I think, God forbid, we get like a normal sized person on in the movies at this time, so we have to take what we can get.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she is very thin, and honestly, Kelly Bishop too is very, very thin.
I mean, yeah, everyone was. I just noticed because Cynthia Rhodes was an actual and she's taller. You can tell that she's a
Yeah.
dancer too. So I loved all the scenes that she dances in. I was always so jealous. I want to do that, especially with Patrick Swayze.
Yeah,
I know, right?
And because he's actually a trained dancer, in the movie, he's not supposed to be a professional. So they had to have him tone down his dancing
Oh,
ability. actually.
interesting.
Wow.
Really? That's funny. That
Mhm.
actually
too good.
Can I insert a Lucille Ball anecdote here?
Please do.
She was always training so hard for everything. She worked so hard to every single detail right behind all of her shows. On I Love Lucy, there was an episode where she needs to pick back the saxophone. And she had basically, the writers wrote this in because Lucy herself was like, I used to play the saxophone. Like, oh, we should work that in somehow. And she wasn't good. She had to pick up the saxophone behind the scenes, but she practiced all the time throughout the whole week from the script to like filming, that at the end they were like, you're too good. The whole script hinges on you not being good. You need to stop practicing so much, because she
wow.
was like over practicing and she got really good throughout the whole week. And they were
Like,
like,
you're not supposed to
Lucy,
be.
this is the whole point. Yeah, it was kind of hilarious. So I love that. Like, tone it down. You're too good for this camp.
Yeah, we
It's like,
don't buy it.
Yeah.
I know. So funny. That's great. Speaking of this little summer experience, right? At the end, can we talk about like the wistful camp owner where he has this, feels like it's all slipping away?
It's ending. Oh,
Oh,
Isn't
that
that
was
interesting?
interesting.
I feel like that's also that sort of nostalgia play, right? For the audience who were this age at the time, who remember this experience. And it's like, you know, I really appreciated that it didn't sound, at least it didn't to me, feel like a trope of like the good old days are gone. It was a really poignant,
It was.
unexpectedly deep moment between the guy and his like longtime, you know, compatriot, you know,
Mhm.
piano player. They had
Tito.
like Yiddish
mhm,
in
Tito.
there too. I mean, it was like, it was awesome. It was very of the time and of that scene. And I thought it was interesting. And of course it tied in where it's like, oh, the kids love Dirty Dancing. This is all okay. You know, but
Yeah.
it was certainly predicted, you know, what was happening anyway. So really interesting.
That is a good point. And because I'm getting older, I find myself saying stuff like kids these days, like basically that, but not that exactly a lot now. So that's why I have Retromade. I like to go back to the 80s and 90s.
Fantastic.
It's your
Yeah.
time travel show. It's your time
It
travel
is.
show. Exactly.
It
But I
totally
think it's,
is.
you know, I think it's important to appreciate that nostalgia play. And obviously, as we all get older, like, all like have these memories, and it's useful because things do change. And obviously, the world has changed quite a bit from this whole scene. But I really like the way it felt natural, put it in there, even though we only saw bits and pieces of, you know, Mr. Director, which I also love the very beginning where he's like, if it wasn't for your dad, I'd be standing here dead.
Dead. He
Love
has
that.
a very specific way of speaking that sort of, I like it somehow. Like it works for the movie.
It
and I
makes
can't
like
really
everything
describe it.
funny. I feel
Yeah.
like everything he
Yeah,
says
yeah.
is funny.
Yeah, I know. I
did
like
you
that. It was a
guys-
good touch.
Did you guys hear of anybody who was, you know, there's always casting what ifs, like auditioned and didn't make it. Were you aware of any for Dirty Dancing?
No. Do you
Wait.
have some?
So there's actually like a little bit of a debate about what's true and what's not true, but Billy Zane and Sarah Jessica Parker auditioned for the leads,
I could see that.
Wow.
as did Sharon Stone, but obviously they didn't get it.
Huh.
And there was talk about Val Kilmer being offered the role of Johnny.
I feel
Which-
like he would not be, this is not right, but he does feel Kurt Russell, Patrick Swayze adjacent
Yes!
to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
as you said that,
Good
I was like,
call.
oh, he's got the same kind of face too. Boom.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
kind of does. And they all have a similar coloring too. Like that.
Yeah,
tan.
Totally.
Yeah.
like
Uh,
Sandy, like, yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
That's so fun.
And
he's
then
in the camp.
the board at Vestron wanted Pia Zadora to play Baby. And then somebody else wanted this, I found wild, Mindy Cohn, but she was unavailable. Like she didn't even, it wasn't that she tried out and didn't make it. She was unavailable. Natalie from The Facts of Life.
Yeah. Imagine.
Wouldn't
That's
that
really
have been
fascinating.
different?
Yeah.
This is why you have to have creatives, man. You can't have these bored people just at their whim.
Yeah.
Lauren,
Pay
that would have been your
writers.
everybody, like
Yeah.
a regular bodied person.
It would have been
Yeah.
true. Yeah. And I also love The Facts of Life. So I would have been.
Oh
happy
my God.
standing
That's
them.
one of the best. One of the best. Oh, Facts of Life.
I have another line.
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
wanna
We're going to
talk about.
come.
This is like me and Lauren's format, right? Where you're just like,
What
what
else?
else did you have in your notes that we
Yeah.
haven't talked about?
What
Um,
else do you
I-
guys have? What do we not
I
cover?
do. The last thing, I just want to talk about Jerry Orbach for a second. Obviously, it's complicated. He's portrayed and is mostly like a great guy. He's got that little dad thing about, pull of his daughter growing up. Maybe you shouldn't call her baby, etc. But I really appreciate the specific direct call out at the end where he goes, when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong.
Yes.
That was
good call.
extremely refreshing to hear from this guy, the character who is supposed to be this very rich, privileged, macho, everything that like to say that out loud seemed extremely refreshing.
Yeah, it was great. I would have loved, and I'm sorry, I could have used a
Yeah.
real apology. But
true.
I'll take what I can get. I agree. I
Yeah.
did like that a lot. And I feel like Patrick Swayze, Johnny seemed very satisfied. And like we were talking about his self-esteem, I feel like it meant a lot to him to have this sort of like unspoken blessing again with Jerry Orbach's
Yes.
like, you look wonderful out there. Like that's what we're
Aw,
getting.
yeah.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, it is nice. He really wants that like arm around him like he did for Robin, but we'll get there.
Yeah, he's got maybe that's like a daddy issue that Johnny's working through.
I think so.
Yeah.
A little tidbit that listeners of Retromade might like because there's a Point Break tie-in. Did you guys see Point Break?
I love Point Break.
So good.
It really is. And he plays a very different, like like a sociopathic dude. in that. But apparently, so in Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze's character drives a 1957 Chevy. And in Point Break, he says, when he's referring to Keanu Reeves' surfboard, he refers to it. He says, it looks like a 57 Chevy I used to have. So it's like a little,
Oh,
yeah.
Hey,
Sick.
that's
Mhm.
awesome. That's a really sweet tie. I like that a lot.
Mhm.
The only other thing I think we haven't talked about is like, especially for Of the Time, right? Where what's his name mentions freedom riding in the South.
Well, I was sort of surprised because it's from a character that we're not really supposed to like.
Yes,
But it-
yeah,
you know-
I thought that was so fascinating because I was like, where is this guy going? Because he's clearly from the, he's like a total dickhead, right? And I don't know if that was supposed to be like a posturing thing or just because that's what Ivy League dudes in the North do, like
could
white
be.
people, or it was
Like
like,
white
all of a sudden
savior
like a
type
cool thing.
mentality.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It was
Or
kind of
trying to
interesting
just
though.
Get an in with Baby because he knows that's something a baby would do because she's going to be going
Possibly.
into Peace Corps. So
That's true.
I noted that as well. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting comment from Neil.
Yes,
I do think it's the
exactly.
Ivy League thing though, because again, in Mad Men, actually, the one guy currently brings up that he went to Princeton. He also does it, and I was like, I wonder what that's about. This guy like has relatively progressive views. It's like so out of context, like it is here. But I think it also, in addition to that, I think it's meant to also hammer home the historical setting as well.
Mhm.
point.
Because the same thing I thought a little bit with what we were talking about with the director being like, oh, if this is the end of everything and whatever. Because 63 is like, I feel like often pointed to 63 and 68 of like years
Mhm.
America lost its innocence, I think it's there's like a historical significance that is again which I really think is smart on the part of filmmakers. Like it's present, it's not a huge theme. You can watch this movie and just be like, I just love the dancing, I love the couple, I don't like care about anything else going on.
Mhm.
But if you're looking for it, it's there, which I just think is it's impressive to be able to do that.
You're right. It is subtle in a really good way, in a guiding way. It has that nostalgia,
Mhm.
but it doesn't interrupt things. Wow.
There's a lot of that throughout the movie that, like you pointed, if you're looking for it, but which makes the movie more impressive to me. It's not just a superficial, fun dance movie. There's
Yeah.
actually some real stuff in there.
Yeah, and you can like, see it or not see it, which I
Yeah.
also think is great because it's like
Mhm.
sometimes you don't want, like, you literally just want to watch Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey dancing, and like that's
Yeah.
available to you. But if you're looking for, so even having abortion as like a plot point, that's
40%
big-
of people don't want to see it. They don't
right.
even
So
know.
they just like don't. Yeah.
Well, and they did try to convince Eleanor Bergstein to take it out.
Wow,
I
good
thi-
for her for keeping
yeah, and
it
she
in.
refused. She
Totally.
refused. She's like, no, we're keeping it in. Yeah,
Love that.
Then what's the movie, girl?
Yeah.
I know. There's no need for baby to step in without it.
She
Yeah.
just needs her like wisdom teeth out or something. They could change it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Some other operation by a drive-by doctor.
Oh my
This was
goodness.
so exciting. It was a really fun rewatch. I'm like so excited that it does hold up, and it's
Mhm.
such a lovely movie on many levels.
Yeah, and I also I want to say that I think Retrograde is so great, and as you said, like it's fun to like, go back, but it's really I don't know. I think there is something to be said for going back with like, the lens of 2023, but also like some forgiveness of the time, which I feel like you have
Mhm.
to do if you're going to be
You
looking at
have
things from this
to.
time. And it's fine to critique it. Doesn't mean you don't love it. You, in fact, should. But I don't know. I feel like you have in the episodes that I've listened to and like on this, you've always done a really good job with balancing that. And so it was just so great to be able to do this with you. So thank you.
Oh my God. You guys are just the best. I mean, wrapping up Dirty Dancing, like I said, people, if you haven't seen it in a while, you owe it to yourself to give it a rewatch. It's really great. And for the soundtrack alone, just go buy
Yep.
the soundtrack maybe.
For real.
So,
Like that.
and I would very much like to remain in this time period for a while or this world for a while, but alas, we do have to return, unfortunately, to the present day until the next Retromade episode. So thank you for that great segue. I thank you guys for joining me on this fantastically awesome rewatch. And like I said, for me, it's one of the best movies ever made. I have a serious question. I know you guys have mentioned on your show, because you're in the 7th season of Golden Girls.
Yes.
And you've mentioned that you're not going to be covering Golden Palace,
Mhm.
which I just recently watched for the first time ever. So I'm like, is there something I can do to twist your arm?
Yeah.
Or do you have other planned projects when Golden Girls is over? What's
Nothing-
next? on
Nothing
Enough
currently
Wicker?
planned. Nothing
Okay.
currently planned. I was going to make a joke, which might end up being a reality, that we could just do the guest circuit on every.
We are available.
Feels, it feels, it feels like where just like some celebrity retires and then all of a sudden they're on all the game shows. So
I love
you know,
that.
it's kind of. But no, nothing now. But like if you listen to us and you know us, nothing is out of the realm of possibility. So.
Well, good.
nothing
Because
what
if
would
you're
you say?
taking
Podcasts.
requests, no. I'm like, you do the nanny.
I
Do
love the
Hot-
nanny, Katie.
I know. I've
love-
heard you say it. Do Hot in Cleveland. Like
I love
some-
High
some-
Cleveland.
Yeah,
So good.
please. That's my request. So I just love your show so much. Tell everybody if there's other projects that either of you are currently working on that you'd like to direct people to. And just you guys, Enough Wicker is the best Golden Girls podcast out there.
Well, thank
Where
you
else
so
can
much.
people find you?
For
On the web. Yeah, on the web
Mhm.
at enoughwicker.com. We're also on Instagram at enoughwicker and Twitter at enoughwicker. Although, as we said in our last episode, we haven't been so present on social media, but we're definitely there. You can certainly reach us there. And yeah, we don't have any podcast projects lined up for when this ends, but Sarah has a pretty big project that will actually be featured on the podcast probably a little bit later in the summer/fall. So, Sarah, you want to?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. So I gave a little Lucille Ball tidbit because I have written a biography of Lucille Ball. And it's called AKA Lucy, The Dynamic and Determined Life of Lucille Ball. It's written by me, which, should be enough of a draw, but the real draw is that Amy Poehler wrote the foreword for the book.
Yeah,
and it's
you're
obviously
famous. Like legit famous.
I bet you know someone. Enough Wicker got me there. But I think what's really exciting about this project is that, yes, obviously, Lucille Ball, she has been dead for some time. In fact, she will die 2 years after Dirty Dancing is released. But there've obviously been several biographies about her. She has her own autobiography. This isn't a project that's meant to like unearth some unknown factor, but rather packaging her life in a way that hasn't really been done before, particularly in a more visual way. And it's interesting. Fans of Enough Wicker, I think, if you read the book, will some of the scholarly analysis and inputs there dissect a little bit her saying that she's not a feminist, but how feminist she is. Talking about like what exactly about her makes her so funny and endearing and like long lasting as an idol. So it's really exciting. So October 10th, 2023, you can pre-order now. You can go to sarahroyal.com is the easiest way, or use the Googles or your Bing or whatever and type in AKA Lucy by Sarah Royal, and you can order from, personally prefer if you order from your local independent bookstore. But
Yes,
you can
agreed.
also give more money to Bezos and whoever else.
You gotta say
You
Barnes
want-
and Noble though. Without Barnes and Noble, it's only Amazon.
There
I
you
love
go.
an
That's
independent
right.
bookstore, but I do my.
That's right. No, it's true. Barnes and Noble is in there as well. So there's.
I
yeah,
can't
It's
wait.
been an exciting
October's-
project.
October's
very
right around the
soon.
corner.
It's right around the corner.
right
I
around the
can't wait to
corner.
read it. I
Thank
cannot
you.
wait.
I'm very excited. If you follow along, Enough Wicker again will be sort of preaching it there too. But Sarah E. Royal on Instagram, I'll be posting like a little mini book tour. So if you happen to live in cities where it might be, I'll let you.
That is fantastic. And listeners, or if you're watching on YouTube, I can't thank you enough for listening or watching. Please share the show with other nostalgic nerds so that we can all reminisce together. You can do that on the YouTube channel of Retromade or via the share functionality on whatever podcast app you use. Until next time, be kind, rewind.